Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for another OPTC video, and today we have another very special video. Shout out to the homie Kid for the request. He asked if we could take on the Hawkins for us with Shanks' crew as our leader. So I thought, with all the super typing that's just coming out, let's have a look back at the dual units and just show off how strong they still are. So this is the team we're rocking. Two things to note before we start is two supports. We have Nami, the Valentine's Day Nami, on our Luffy Zoro unit. She can be attached to any Luffy, I think some other Straw Hats, but she removes Blindness Bear by 2 turns if we use a special. And then we have this free-to-play Perisparrow who will actually be available in the Kazuna tomorrow. So he locks our orbs. He's not essential, but like he helps out quite a bit. So leader obviously being Shanks' crew. They have an amazing switch ability of 1.5 times attack for our entire crew, matching orbs. They give us a 3.5 times chain lock for 3 turns. They evade special binds. They're just an incredible cap. Damage reduction, like they have so much going for them. Hands down, best unit in the game. Makes me very, very happy as Shanks is my boy, my favorite character in One Piece. So very fitting that we got this request. So thank you to our homie Kid for the request. So we're basically going to be using his damage reduction to be stalling out, and then we can use the specials of Kyoshiro to heal back up. It works very, very well for stalling. And we also have this monster of a unit, Vivi Becca. They're just the GOAT for long events like forests and Garf challenges. 2000 healing on switch, chain lock on healing on switch. They're so good. Orb manipulation as well. So as I mentioned, we've got Kyoshiro here as well. Kyoshiro is here for their heal as well as their slot bind removal. They have an amazing switch ability. So the next unit is Luffy Zoro. So we needed a Luffy for the Nami support, but it was between this guy and Laffy, and I thought, you know, their switch ability is just way better than Laffy's, especially for this team comp. So we'll bring them along as their switch ability helps us remove like bind, despair, and stuff like that. Finally, we have Sabo and Koala. You guys already know how amazing Sabo Koala is. This whole team is Free Spirit and or Cerebral, so their switch ability works really, really well for the color affinity, as well as just being a boss of a unit. When you get to the end, you could either face a physical or a Dex Hawkins. Ideally, you want to face Dex, but having the ability of Sabo Koala just helps out quite a bit, as it doesn't really matter too much. So we started a Kiku on stage 10. And we're basically just going to use some stalling here to get around her. And with our switch abilities, we can just take her out. Now, this wasn't a perfect run by any means. Now, you'll see what I mean when we get towards the end. I kind of scuffed it, but managed to salvage it, which is really good. So, I understand this team is fairly stacked, but this event is easily the hardest of the forest. Like, not even a competition. I did the Big Mom Forest the other night, and this is just disgustingly hard compared to that. So, stage 11, we have Raizo. When we fight Raizo, just super easy here. We just use our switch abilities, and we can just devour Raizo. All we need is one of our Shanks crews to be as the blue unit. So we get the color affinity and the attack buff and chain lock. It's just incredible. Well, this team. The amount of buffs this team has just by switching is just disgusting. And it's such a good team. Like, this team should be able to clear pretty much everything. It has very good synergy. Not perfect synergy, but very good synergy. But for the amount of strength it has, it's a very, very easy sacrifice. Stage 13, we have Holdem. Holdem is a strength unit, 4 turns of damage threshold cut. And he does a whole bunch of attacks, like 2 turns. I think they're HP cuts. They might not be, but ideally here we want to stay as Shanks' crew, so Lucky Roo, Yasop, and Ben Beckman, as we get our 10% damage reduction each. I forgot to show sockets. We have max damage reduction on this as well, and all of these units are rainbows, as you guys saw. The pinch healing on Vivi Becca, Sabo Koala, and Luffy Zoro is pretty, I don't know if it's required, but like it helps out quite a lot. Whether it needs to be maxed or not is another story too. So once we get down to the last turn of the threshold, we are quite low health. We are going to use our Kyoshiro special to heal back up. And using the switch ability of Vivi Becca every turn, we get that nice little bit of healing as well. I switched into Shanks' crew there, so then when I switch next turn, I have the attack buff for when we are going to burst down Holdem. But honestly, it's not even really necessary, as Shanks' crew's special just does so much damn damage that it isn't overly required. So you could save a little bit of damage here because we have the extra damage reduction. So this must not be a HP cut then, because the damage reduction helps us. But either way, we're going to use our switch abilities here, so we can get the chain locks. Now, obviously, you probably should just use Shanks' crew special before you switch with VV Becker. That's actually a mistake I make at the very end as well, but we still managed to get it done, which is really, really cool. So, using Shanks' crew special, we can get the orb lock mechanic for our cerebral units, which is basically this whole team except for Luffy and Zoro. You don't want to attack with Luffy Zoro there. I just got baited by a Wano orb, or a TND orb, but it is what it is. Moving on, we have Kinemon and Kanjuro. Man, I wish I could just smack Kanjuro around even harder. No spoilers though, no spoilers. So we're going to use our switch abilities here. We're going to get a chain lock, we're going to get our color affinity, and we're going to get an attack buff from our Shanks crew. And with that, literally just with 4 units and their switch abilities, we can actually just beat this stage, which is insane. Like, that is just insane. As you guys noticed too, because we had all rainbow orbs, we actually get our orbs perfect locked. That's that new mechanic that came out when this forest came out. But for us, it actually works in our favor, as we now have rainbow orbs locked in for the next 4 turns of perfects. Next stage, we have Kyoshiro. He puts up 3 turns of damage, not damage reduction, defense up. We're going to try and stall 2 turns here, as he puts up a damage reduction for 5 turns after that. That's when we're going to want to use our VV Becker special. And just stalling a little bit longer can help us out by getting our Shirishiri special back down, so we can use it again later on in the event. So we're just going to constantly keep switching here with Luffy and VV Becker. Mainly just want to be switching with VV Becker, to be honest. Don't have to really switch with anyone else. You just want the healing that VV Becker provides. The 3000 every turn with auto heal sockets is just so handy. We also have quite a bit of pinch healing here too, as you guys will see in a little bit as well. Alright, now that he's got his damage reduction up, we can use our switch abilities to get all of our buffs, and then we can use our VV Becker to remove the damage reduction and defense up. With our switch ability buffs, we just have so much damage here, and we can take out Kyoshiro. 4.8 mil with switch effects is just incredible to me. Insane. Alright, next stage we have Jack. Jack gives us 5 turns of Gloom. He does a chain threshold reduction and gives us 99 turns of badly matching orbs. You know what that means. We are going to be using Sabo Koala to be removing that. But lucky for us, we have a whole bunch of rainbow orbs. Now, this event was sort of built for Luffy and Zoro when they first dropped. But Shirishiri is also another really good unit to get around this mechanic that is basically the cuck of this. Now, obviously, you can use Sabo Koala special here if need be, but like we don't need to, because the strength and dex orbs aren't basically on our... They're just not a worry at the moment. So we're going to use our switch abilities here and our Shanks crew special, and attack with our green units last. Well, actually, it doesn't really matter if we attack with them last because of the chain lock. As long as we don't attack with them first, we will have enough damage to take out Jack just before he gets enough hits on us to kill us. He's going to revive and then he's going to run away, but that's not a worry. We don't have to worry about that. As we move on, we move into Law, Zoro, and Soba Mask. Now, very important here that we actually have Luffy and Zoro in the bottom left-hand corner, so we can use their switch ability to remove the bind. Very, very important. We want to then use our Sabo and Koala special. We are going to switch with them first for color affinity. However, the way I sort of had been doing my switches didn't really work out in my favor at all, but it doesn't really matter. I would recommend switching with it because it depends on how you guys are running it. it may come in handy. It's not going to not come in handy, right? Like, then we're going to use Cyber Koala Special. That'll remove that debuff Jack gave us, give us an attack buff, and then we can switch with VV Becca for the heal. We have heaps of damage here because we are still in Shanks' crew. We can switch with Shanks' crew there for the damage reduction against Zoro, because we are going to stall on him. As you guys can see, we can take out Sober Mask and Law, and then we can leave Zoro where he is. Now, we get a bit unlucky here, and we get our Vivi backup binded. We get the other side binded. But that's okay, because we still have enough HP to survive a hit from our boy Zoro. And with the auto heal, with the auto heal and the pinch healing from Cyber Koala, we can just stay above the threshold to stay alive. Now the idea here is we want to try and get rid of that perfect barrier that's been put on Zoro and Vivi Becca. Plus we can actually use the perfects to get some healing back. As you can see, we get about 7,000 heal there, which is excellent. And then every time that we switch with Vivi Becca, we can get some healing back as well. And then in 3 turns, we'll have our Shirishiri back, and we can use that special to continuously stall on this stage. We're not going to stall forever. We want to stall just enough so we can get our Shanks crew special down a little bit. And just enough so we can remove that 20 turns of one special. Now, Shirishiri is going to help us remove that as well as give us the heal. But in the meantime, we just got to stay above that 5,000 HP mark, or 5,300, and we are all hunky-dory. Vivi Becca is just incredibly strong. Like, for long content like this, man, like, they're just so good. Such a ridiculously good Sugo. Such a good, like, quality of life Sugo to have as well. Okay, so we can use our Shirishiri special now. Basically just full healing us. Well, not basically, definitely full healing us. We can remove the 10 turns of the one special and 10 turns of the one damage only. You can actually stall that out, like, fairly easily, like right here on this stage right here. I reckon you could stall it out, but we're not going to, because, like, screw that. We don't need to. But honestly, to make this a lot easier, I imagine you could, because you probably get Shirishiri special, or using Shirishiri special every 15 turns. You can remove it by 10 turns. So that's an option for you guys if you really want to be extra safe with this team. Just continuously stall on Zoro, provided you don't do too much damage every single turn, though, to kill him. But just without an orb on one of your units, you should easily be able to get that. Alright, so now that we've got Shanks' crew special back, we'll just stall a little bit longer so we can get our Cyber Koala special back, and so we can get rid of the one special, and then we'll take out Zoro. Alright, so now that we've got rid of the one turn special, on the last turn of that, we can kill out Zoro. And then we can move into Jack. Now, Jack is a little bit scary here, but nothing really to stress about too much. He has damage reduction and threshold. But with our free spirit units that have pinch healing, we can not only stay above the amount of damage he needs to kill us, but we also have damage reduction from our captains, which means that we can heal for quite a bit. As you see there, about 7,000 per turn. And then he's going to blow away one of our captains. Now, when he blows away one of our captains, it gets a little bit annoying because we're no longer below that 50% threshold for our pinch healing. But we do get quite lucky here with a meat orb on our Cyber Koala. So make sure you're hitting with all of your units that you can. This is a really good time to get rid of that perfect slot lock that gets given to our units from a couple of turns before. I can't remember who did it. But this is the perfect time to get rid of it. Plus, hitting your perfects on your units is always going to be nice to get some extra healing. Kind of required to make sure you're doing that. So make sure you got your pinch healing up on these units if you're running this team. Very, very important. Pinch healing has just become such an incredibly strong mechanic with the new update as well. The extra 100 cotton candy on your entire team. Just any unit that has pinch healing has now got recovery candy. Like Cyber Koala for me never used to have recovery candy. Now they do. And it's just incredible how much healing you can get back on these long events and how much easier these long events have now become because of that extra 100 recovery. Switchability of Shiro actually proved really, really nice on this run. The rainbow orbs just are basically essential. They're more the Wano orbs. Or I guess Selma orbs, but I mean, who the hell's running V1 Big Mom? Let's be real, no one's running V1 Big Mom. That's kind of like an essential part of getting this done. But just using the switch abilities of all these other units here, we can start slowly taking down Jack. So we get a meat orb there, which is very important for our healing. We're just going to make sure we stay in the Shanks crew leaders and make sure we don't let Jack take a knee. My theory is just never let anything take a knee. Otherwise, especially on these types of runs, like these types of events, you're probably going to die. So good idea is to just not risk it and don't get that low. Now we want to make sure that we've still got enough red units here to get through Jack. So we're going to keep our Luffy in the corner there with a quick orb rather than switching for the TND orb, as the color affinity that we get from Cyber Koala is going to help us out quite a bit. Now, I do miss my perfect on Cyber Koala, which kind of sucked for that healing, but it's not the end of the world. Now, this is where I kind of cuck my run, but like I said, I do manage to salvage this. So, stage 19, we come up against Kaido, the big boy Kaido. Now, Kaido, he is very annoying. We want to make sure we have Shiro ready when we come up against Kaido, as we do want to remove that burn that he applies to us. So we're going to switch into our Shanks crews, and then we're going to use one of their specials. That'll give us the 3.5 times chain lock that we can carry over, as Kaido has a revive mechanic. We want to get the color affinity with Cyber Koala. Very important. And then we can switch with our Luffy Zoro unit, just so we can get that extra TND orb. I'm pretty sure we've hit the 15 TND orbs. I imagine we would have, but having the ability to switch into him later and, on the next turn or not is always handy as well. Alright, so we're going to use our Shiro special there to get as much healing as we can. As you guys can see, it's not a lot with the recovery down debuff we get. But we can remove the 5 turns of burn. We can remove another 10 turns of the single attack, but that's not overly important. And as you guys can see, we have so much damage when we hit our Shanks and Shanks crew that we can just take out Kaido here. Now, this is where I done goofed. Now, if you are a quick, strength, or dex unit, Hawkins turns into a dex unit. Now, if you are a psi or int unit, your captain, I mean, Hawkins will actually turn into a psi unit. Now, ideally, you probably want to be the blue Shanks crew right here. Now, I just looked at my orbs and said, no, I need orbs here. Didn't really think about the next stage and just attacked through to make sure that I could kill Kaido with the orb on my Shanks crew unit. Now, without doing that, I don't actually know if I would have won. Because I'm looking at this, no, I probably would have been fine. I didn't have to even attack with that other Shanks crew. But because of that, my Hawkins actually turns into a psi unit. Now, that's not actually the end of the world, as I kind of just had to reevaluate things, but we still managed to get it done. Another blunder I made is actually coming up right now. I actually switched with VV Becca before I used my Shanks crew. So this turn right here is with a 2.5 times multiplier. 2.5 times chain lock. Now, I should have a 3.5 times chain lock with Shanks crew. So make sure you use Shanks crew first before you use all your switch abilities. Then you want to use the special then switch with VV Becca if you need the orbs. Then use VV Becker's special to remove the defense up and give you a 2 times color affinity. If you need to switch with Sabo Koala to be whatever color you need to be, then switch. Use their special for the attack buff. And then you can use the Zoro and Luffy special last to give you the massive orb boost, as well as having the Nami support to remove the extra gloom. It is very important to be you have to switch with Luffy and Zoro, as Luffy and Zoro remove 1 ton of the gloom. So there you guys go. That was Shanks, well, on this attack. So with that, we're going to have a whole bunch of damage. The fact that Sabo Koala can be either of the colors makes this team very, very safe, depending what you're at on stage 19 as well. So let's get this done. And boom, there you guys go. So there you guys go. That was the Shanks crew beating the Basil Hawkins Forest. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, hit the like button. If you want to stay up to date with more OPTC content that I post, hit the big red subscribe button too. But guys, most importantly, enjoy your day. I thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Lights!